Do you find that there are times when people in your life can just trigger a response from you? I know that that's the case for myself. And I think that has a lot to do with being a empathic person as a general rule. And I think all artists, to some extent, have that extra sensory perception. So today I thought we'd talk a little bit about the importance of self-mastery. And it's more than mastering your craft as an artist, but it's about mastering yourself. What is self-mastery? Self-mastery is the ability to maintain your balance or your equilibrium in a very unstable world. And this is something that is a lifelong practice. It's something that will challenge us on every level. Oftentimes, people in our lives that we love and that we care about can trigger a disbalance in us simply because perhaps they're struggling in some capacity and we somehow suck in their energy and get affected by it. This is something that I can say I have experienced quite a bit. If I'm around somebody and they're not doing well, it seems that my energy field is sort of like a sponge, and I tend to soak up what that person is feeling. So that's something that I've always had to work on, is how do I separate what's my stuff and what's other people's stuff. That's why I think I do need to be in nature and I do need to escape the city, because sometimes it's just too much. How can we not be affected by our environment? How do we protect ourselves from all the energies that are flying around the universe? Well, obviously there are a lot of different practices, right? Like meditation and yoga and martial arts. But there's also other ways as well. Some people find that going for a run clears their head. There's such a thing as walking meditation, even just being kind of alone with yourself but vigorously walking somewhere can kind of clear your mind. These are all methods, right? Sometimes they're effective and sometimes they're not. There's something particularly interesting that I've tried that I thought I would share with you guys today. Is something that I heard the motivational speaker Lisa Nichols use. And I don't think she's the first person who's used it either, but it's a really effective exercise. Simply what you do is you sit down and you get quiet with yourself, and whether that is by meditating or just simply finding a quiet moment to just sort of reflect, but get in touch with your, as I would say, higher self, the part of you that is sort of that super consciousness that swirls around you and above you and sees all the detail that you as the human being tend to miss. And when you're in a state of relaxation and calm, take out some paper and take out a pencil, and that's really important, a pencil, and you start jotting down everything that is, in your perception, a lie about yourself. We all tend to have thoughts that are not very healthy and can sometimes be debilitating to us. Examples that are particularly ones that artists may have: becoming successful in my career is too hard. Artists never make money at what they do. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not funny enough. I'm not smart enough. I could go on and on, right? You guys get the idea. With each lie that you write, skip 3 or 4 lines. And again, remember, you're writing in pencil. So that's part 1. That's step 1 of this process. Then step 2 is to then go back and read the lie and then write with a red pen or some other brightly colored pen the truth, the flip side of that coin. So here's an example. Let's say you wrote something like, I am in a creative rut and I feel like I'll never be able to level up my career. That's the lie you're telling yourself, because it is a lie. Even though you may feel that way right now, write the opposite. Trust me. So you write something to the effect of, I'm a smart, resourceful person and new ideas are coming to me every day. If it's something like, nothing ever changes for me, you could write something like, change is the nature of the universe. There's always another choice. So you go through and you write the truth in red or in some other bright color, right underneath the pencil line of the lie. You spend the next 3 days or so, maybe longer, reading both back and forth. So this is how you can literally rewire your brain. This is how you can change your thought process and how you can change a debilitating thought and shift it into a thought that is positive or that will somehow put you in a more positive state of mind. It's not just affirmations. You have to do it in this process, because just saying an affirmation without any belief or true connection to it will get you nowhere. And I suggest you read them first thing in the morning and maybe at night, right before you go to sleep. The first day that I had to try to write the truth, I was really challenged, because I would say to myself, well, but that is true. Because it was such an ingrained belief. I had really believed that lie about myself, right? So it took a while for me to come up with the flip side, to find the truth. Once I did that, then another interesting thing happened. When I would read the 2 lines, I started to feel icky when I would read the lie. It was really interesting. It's so interesting to me how much power words have over our psyche. And so as I was reading these lies, I was just like, ugh, like, I don't want to believe that anymore. Like, I don't want to feel that. You can say them in your head, but I would recommend reading these things out loud as well, because that's where you're going to start to really see the power of them. And one thing that I did was I use sometimes music to accompany it. And there's one that is just a repetitive gong. It's sort of like it feels very much like a mantra, just like hearing the same tone or sound over and over again. So every time I would hear that tone, I would say one line, the lie first, and then the gong would go again, and I hear the tone again, and then I would say the truth. And when I did that in this rhythmic way, it really separated the 2 lines for me, and it allowed me to really sit with it and really absorb what I was saying and what I was hearing myself say out loud. So when I practiced that way, I started to really hear the truth as being like, yeah, that feels a heck of a lot better. And that's what I want to think. And another thing that happened was I started to hear the voice of people in my life. I would read the lie and I'd be like, wait a minute, that's not even my thought. I don't believe that. Where did that come from? Oh, that's how my mom thinks, or that's how my dad thinks, or that's how my brother thinks, or that's how my friend who I hang out with all the time thinks. Eventually, what you're going to do is you're going to take that eraser and you're going to erase all the lies that you wrote in pencil, so that the only thing that's left are the truths that you've come up with, the flip side of those old beliefs. And that's all that'll be left on the paper. And so then you spend a day or 2 just reading those out loud. But by that time, it's not like you just picked up a book on affirmations and you decided to just read this book on affirmations every day. This is a way of really getting it into the cellular level of your body and absorbing it. And it's really a mind-blowing exercise. And I have to tell you, it was super effective. So that's one little tip or trick on how you can start practicing self-mastery. There's a lot of other techniques like this out there. You have to find what works for you. But I think the big takeaway of what I wanted to relay in this vlog today was that it's really important to know yourself. You guys know this is my quintessential phrase. I live by it. Know thyself. You know, you're not going to always be in a great mood all the time. I'm not saying that you're going to walk around and be Pollyanna. You are going to be able to set yourself back to center again. Much easier. You'll find it much easier to do. So anyway, that is my tip and my belief about going beyond mastering your craft as an artist, but mastering yourself. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoy sitting out here and taking a break from my work week and chatting with you about this kind of stuff. So take care, and I'll see you all soon.